Case file. Twilight Registry. Case number TR-22000616 ALF-F76. Subject: Miriam Vale. Licensed Cartographic Surveyor. Age: 34. Incident classification: recursive location entrapment. Unknown mechanism. Current status: open. The commission arrived by post. That detail matters, because no one sends commissions by post anymore. They arrive by email, by portal, by automated procurement system. But this one came on paper. Thick cream stock. A wax seal she didn't recognize. A return address that resolved to a county administrative building that, when she later called to confirm, no one at the county had any record of sending. The work itself was straightforward on its face. Survey and formally map an unincorporated rural township referred to in the letter only as the Graybend Tract. 42 square miles of hill country north of Aldenvale. No prior surveys on record. No roads maintained by the county. One access route, a logging spur off Route 9, passable in dry weather. The pay was significant, more than significant. She took the job. Miriam arrived on a Tuesday morning in early October, when the hills were the color of old rust and the sky had the particular pewter flatness that precedes the first hard frost. She parked her truck at the logging spur, unloaded her equipment, and opened the first of 3 blank field notebooks she'd bought the week before. The notebook was not blank. The first 12 pages contained a map of the territory she was standing in. Topographic lines in her handwriting, settlement marks, tree lines, a creek labeled in her hand with the name Hollow Fork. A small rectangle near what she estimated was the eastern perimeter, labeled MV. She thought she had packed the wrong notebook. She checked the other 2. They also contained maps. 17 maps in total, across the 3 notebooks, across an apparent span of 9 years. Each one dated, each one in her handwriting, each one of the same territory. She did not remember drawing any of them. She photographed every page and sent the images to a colleague in the city before she proceeded. Her message read, "Tell me if these look like my handwriting." The reply came 90 minutes later. "Of course they're your handwriting." "Why?" She did not reply. She proceeded with the survey. The Graybend Tract was, in all observable respects, uninhabited. No structures, no roads beyond the logging spur, no evidence of recent human activity. The hills rolled away from her in long, slow waves, the tree canopy broken only occasionally by granite outcroppings, and the silver thread of Hollow Fork winding through the eastern lowland. Hollow Fork, which she had labeled correctly on a map she had never drawn. By midday, she had covered approximately 6 of the 42 square miles. She was meticulous. She logged everything: terrain changes, compass bearings, notable features. On the reverse side of each field sheet, she wrote her observations in the small, precise hand she had developed in graduate school. She stopped at 2:14 p.m. In the eastern lowland, 20 meters from Hollow Fork, she found a structure. It was small, no larger than a hunting blind or a modest root cellar. Constructed of rough timber, the wood weathered to a near black, the roof partially collapsed on one side. The door was a plank on leather hinges. It stood open. Inside, a wooden table. On the table, a notebook. Her notebook. The same cream-colored stock as the ones she was carrying. The same wax seal impression on the cover. Dated 8 months prior. She opened it. The map inside was the most detailed of any she had found. It showed every feature she had surveyed that morning, with an accuracy that should have been impossible. Every outcropping, every bearing, every detail she had logged since parking her truck at the spur, including features she had not yet reached when, 8 months ago, this notebook had presumably been closed and left on this table. The small structure near the eastern tree line was marked with her initials. The notation beside it read, "Still here." She was here. She had been here before. Many times, apparently. She could not remember any of them. That night, Miriam did not leave. This was not a decision she made consciously. She simply found, at dusk, that she had not walked back to the truck. She had continued surveying. Her field notes for the afternoon were complete, thorough, unremarkable. She had set up her tent near Hollow Fork, as if she had always intended to stay. She found the first cache the following morning. It was buried under a flat granite stone 50 meters north of the structure. A waterproof case containing field notes, a topo map, and a folded letter addressed to herself in her own handwriting. The letter read, "You are going to want to leave. The impulse will feel like your own. It isn't. Stay with the impulse and observe it. You'll find it arrives at exactly the same time each afternoon, 4:10 p.m. And if you let it pass without acting, it does not return until the following day. Whatever is here does not prevent departure. It redirects attention. It makes leaving feel finished before you've done it. You've mapped this place 17 times. The maps don't match because the place changes between visits. Not dramatically, gradually, like a house settling. I've been trying to find the center of it. I don't know if you're going to find this before or after you see the east marker. If after, it's not a warning. It's a record. She already knows you're here. She's been here longer than the trees. Below this, in smaller letters, the structure is not where it appears on any of the maps. It moves. Not when you're watching. Miriam sat with the letter for a long time. At 4:09 p.m., she felt a very clear, very calm certainty that she had finished her survey, that her data was complete, that she should pack her equipment and drive back to the city. She sat with the feeling. At 4:11, it was gone. She stayed for 4 more days. In those 4 days, she documented the following. The structure moved 3 times. Never while she was observing it. Once, she set up her equipment to record it overnight. The recording showed the structure in one position at dusk. At dawn, it was 12 meters to the northeast. The footage between showed nothing. No motion, no interruption. Just the still image of the structure in one location, and then, without transition, in another. Hollow Fork ran in a different direction on the 4th day than it had on the 1st. Not dramatically. The change was approximately 15 degrees in bearing. The water ran the same direction. The banks were unchanged, but the creek's relationship to the hills around it had shifted, as if the hills had moved rather than the water. On the fifth morning, she found a new notebook on the table in the structure. It was blank, waiting. She sat down and began to draw. The map she drew took 3 hours. When she was finished, she looked at it for a long time. Then she wrote her initials in the corner. She wrote the date. She wrote 2 words in the margin, small and precise and calm. Still here. She left the notebook on the table. She packed her equipment. She walked back to the truck. She drove back to the city. She does not remember the drive. She does not remember arriving. Her next clear memory is waking in her apartment 2 days later. Her survey data on her desk, complete and professional, and exactly what the commission required. She submitted it. She was paid. She has not spoken about the Graybend Tract to anyone except this registry. When asked what she thought the structure was, she paused for a long time before answering. She said, "I think it's a record keeper. I think it keeps a record of everyone who comes, and it makes sure you come back, because a record keeper needs records, and the records have to be current." When asked if she thought she would go back, she said, "I already have the next commission. It arrived this morning. Same wax seal, same paper stock. She hadn't opened it yet. The Twilight Registry has logged this case as open. The Graybend Tract does not appear in any county record we have been able to access. The commission letter Miriam received does not match any known municipal or private cartographic firm. The notebooks she left behind on the table in the structure have not been recovered. The survey she submitted has been accepted. It is, by all accounts, accurate. We do not know what it is accurate of. Case TR 2260616 LF76. Status: open.